Good morning. Welcome to today's episode of Politics and Power. It's a brand new week. We are hoping against hope, that the news coming out of Nigeria will be much more better than the one we had last week. But the question is, how many persons are on the list to jackpot from Nigeria in this new week? Because that seems to be the only thing we are discussing these days. You see somebody today, the next day, they're already snapping pictures on the brick wall in either London, either Manchester, because to them, there seems to be no hope for us as a nation. In the past few months, Nigeria has been preparing for the general elections. To them, this is the only opportunity for us to change the trajectory or the fortune of our nation, Nigeria. As some persons will put it, this is the time for us to take back our country. Take it back from who? They say, some of them said the established politicians, some say the old men. The question is this: we've had some persons being nominated from various political parties that are vying for the position of the presidency. We still have these old men trying to throw their weights behind to see if the Nigerians can elect them into elective position. But this morning, that is not even the angle we're looking at our discourse from. A few weeks ago, the CBN came up with a resolution that they have decided to redesign the Naira notes, and therefore they advise Nigerians that if you know you still have these Naira notes with you, they advise that you rush to our banks and deposit these Naira notes, because from December or say January, these Naira notes will not be valid for spending anymore. Over the weekend, an incident occurred, quite a comic one, yes, because it made a lot of us laugh. But in the midst of this laughter, a lot of us had to sit down and ask ourselves this question: is it really true that the central bank is trying to do something that will affect the politicians more? I want to just take a break now and watch this clip. Then we'll come back and discuss further.
Children will be greater than their father by the grace of the Almighty God. I spoke to my younger brothers, Tosi and Deji, and they told me there's a plan for a foundation, education foundation for the children. I'm so impressed about that. And I'm making a pledge that I'll give an annual donation of 500,000 for that foundation. And I brought the first part of it, 500,000. God bless you.
Good evening, everyone. You can already see the effect of the central bank redesignation. Politicians are carrying cash over. But that is political season. I'm not here for politics. And I want to
I know many of you will see that as a very hilarious video to watch. It's actually trended online over the weekend. Now, the question is this: you saw the way Shore had to attack distinguished Senator Dino Melaye, trying to let us know. Because before now, the truth is, politicians, they don't go about with cash. You invite them to functions where they are met to donate. They will tell you they are going to do transfers to you. But we're surprised. Now, since the CBN have made this pronouncement that politicians now go about with cash, there's still another video that is trending online that I want you guys to watch. This is actually from one social media influencer, and that's the person of MC Jollof. Just take a look at this video, then we'll come back and discuss further this issue of the central bank notifying Nigerians that there's going to be the redesigning of the Naira notes.
So many money in circulation as we speak, being held by some thieves. And the Lord said that I should tell those thieves that you should share 900,000 naira to each Nigerian. Rice now 45,000. Christmas don't reach. And he said we should celebrate his son's birthday in a grand style. So if you be thief, now you take Nigerian money where they make them want to redesign the money, redisburse. Our father say accept amnesty right now. 900,000. Anybody where you see where you look like say they suffer, give her 900,000. Make go pay the money into your account. And when the person will pay the money into your account, right? Safe paid. No issue. No issue. Is there an issue? No. The money will go back to the wealth of the people. Yeah. The people owns the wealth. And the Lord said you should do this before 31st of December. If you not fit do it before it became birthday, still do it before New Year. Because this thing will end by January 31st. And by then you will fish in trouble water. You will what? Fish in trouble water. Yea, indeed, the word of the Lord. And mind you, God did not call me. I called myself. Now, pikin will do Papa work. That be better pikin. So I don't tell now. If you thief Nigerian money or the money from Nigeria now, you see that presser says,
welcome back. I know many of you will see that video as quite hilarious, but there's some sense in what that guy was saying, that this should be the best Christmas for Nigerians. Our politicians should bring out those money. They should share. Let us spend the money. Because if you go to our banks and they tell you that they don't have cash in circulation, sometimes ATM machines don't even dispense funds anymore. You see there's this particular error message you will see, unable to dispense cash, because our banks, they have issues with dispensing, because our politicians, they have decided to amass this cash for them to use for the 2023 election. Now CBN have decided to bust their bubble and say, come, you better start spending this money. So what MC Jollof, the social media influencer, was actually telling them is that they should, at this point in time, allow Nigerians to have access to this fund. They should be sharing 900,000 naira to every Nigerian, so that this will be the best Christmas ever. Just imagine politicians, the one you have close to your house, decide to share 900,000. That was even too much. 100,000 naira each to all Nigerians. We will still have enough to go around. So please, I want to advise our politicians, it's time for you to listen to what MC Jollof is actually telling us. Let's start sharing the monies, because this is what CBN said over the week. CBN decided to come out and say, come, if politicians think that they can take these monies and start pushing it to the bank, that it is a lie. That there's going to be a regulation to the depositing of this Naira notes. And they said that for a new account that you open, you can only deposit 5 million naira in a month. Yes. So if you have 1 billion naira in your house, stashed in your wardrobe, the only amount that can pass through the banking system a month is 5 million naira. For old accounts, this is what he said. If you have an old or an existing account, the maximum amount you can deposit in that account in a month is just 50 million naira. This is actually going to be a major constraint to our politicians. So if somebody is having up to 1 billion naira stashed up in his wardrobe at home, how is he going to push this 1 billion naira to the bank? You know, last week we discussed this issue and we were asking this question. Do you think this issue of central bank trying to redesign the naira is what Nigeria needs at this point in time? But many of us were beginning to see it, that it is a right step in the right direction. Let us mop up the cash that we have in circulation. Let us reduce the amount of funds that these politicians, they have to spend. The election should not be about spending of money. Election should be about you selling your mandate to the people. And if they believe so well in your mandate and they trust you to be able to deliver on this mandate, then they give you the vote. Not a situation where you have made plans. I see politicians boasting to say, forget it. It's not Nigerians. On election, they will know what to do. We know how to win the heart of Nigeria. If you have not been able to win the heart of Nigerians before the election, you have not been able to win the heart of Nigerians through your manifesto, through the programs that you have, through the campaigns that you have been doing, how do you think you'll be able to win the heart of Nigerians on election day? It is simply vote buying. And that's the strategy that Nigerians have been using of late. Going into these polling units on election day and buying votes. And because poverty has been weaponized in this country, it is difficult for some Nigerians to be able to resist this offer of as low as 1,000 naira, sometimes 5,000, sometimes 10,000 naira for you to be able to sell your vote to these politicians. So if what the central bank is proposing can help us deal with this issue of vote buying, then we might just have an election in 2023 that would attempt to be free, fair, and credible. The next issue we'll be looking at this morning is that of the falling Naira. Naira is falling. Yes, Naira is falling against all global currency. Is it the dollar? Is it against the pounds? Is it against the euro? Naira is falling. The question is this. If a particular monetary policy, the current monetary policy of the federal government is not working, why continue with it? Why not pause and do a review and look for a way to shore up the Naira so that the Naira can gain its strength back again? Because the way it is going, by December this year, we might just be having a situation where it will be 1,000 Naira against $1. And that wouldn't be nice for us as a nation because it's going to affect everything. Remember, Nigeria is actually an importing nation where almost everything we use, is it from the industry, is it from almost everything we use is actually imported into this country, which means that we need forests to run our economy. So if Naira continues to slide downward this way, it means that we're going to have a situation where the cost of living will be so high that the average Nigeria will not be able to survive. Another event that happened over the weekend is the first in the series of the presidential town hall meetings organized by the Arise News Network. And we expected to see presidential candidates of some political parties like the Labour Party, the People's Democratic Party, the NNPP, the PRP, the APC. But in the 9 minutes, the APC actually released the press statement stating why they can't be available for that meeting. But during the course of that discussion, I was watching it live, and I saw the way Nigerians reacted when the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate, instead of him showing up, he decided to ask his vice presidential candidate, and that's the person of Senator Actor Okowa, Ifeanyi Okowa, to stand in his stead. And Nigerians in that place reacted and said they don't want the vice anymore. They want the candidate to come himself to talk to Nigerians. Now, that brings us to another issue we need to look at today, the issue of leadership by proxy. Yes, leadership by proxy. It's becoming too common in Nigeria that we elect leaders that are not really there. We elect leaders that we can really see their faces, but we don't see their personality as far as the running of the nation is concerned. At critical times, like the issue of flooding, where you expect the leader to stand up and speak for the people, stand up and show solidarity, show empathy, show sympathy, show anything, show any form of emotion to let the people that you are leading know that I'm part of your struggle, I'm part of what you feel, I'm not happy with what is going on. But we don't see. So we tend to have leadership by proxy, a situation where leaders are elected into offices. We just see the face. We don't see the person of the leader. The only time you see the person of the personality of the leader is only maybe when there is a need for them to come ask for you to vote them into power. It goes down to our local environment where you elect. Where before election, you're electing leaders. As low as you were letting your councillor in your constituency is concerned. During the election period, you see them coming close to you to campaign. So even go to the extent of eating corn with you. They eat agbado with you, some akara with you, just because they want your vote. But the moment they get into political offices, should I use the word they abscond? No, let me not use the word they abscond. You can't have access to them. Who is a leader? A leader is a man that knows the way and is ready to show the way. So if the leader is going to lead the people by proxy, then the whole essence of leadership is defeated, because the leader must have a face. The people must feel the personality of the leader. So when Nigerians started shouting during the town hall meetings that we don't want your vice, we want to see you in person. I think that's a step in the right direction. We should begin to ask our leaders to show up for debates. They should show up for town hall meetings. If at this stage where you are begging for our votes, we can't tend to even see you present to talk to us. That means that the moment you become the president, the moment you become the councillor, the moment you become the governor, the moment you become who you want to become, we can't even see you anymore. You'll be too far from the people. So please, I think Nigerians should take this discourse serious. We should ask these candidates, whenever your attention is needed, we want you to come speak to us. We want you to come tell us. We don't want your spokesman to come tell us. Because we can't hold these men accountable when you finally get elected. Politicians are smart people. Whatsoever they say through their spokesmen, you can't hold them accountable for it. Because if you try and come and you tell them that this is what you said, and that was why we voted into power, it will tell you, show me clip, yeah, I said this. So please, it is time our presidential candidates, our governorship candidates, it is time for them to come up and speak to us directly. Let us even hear the way and manner. Another thing why we need them to talk to us is that it gives us an idea to see how articulate they are. It gives us an idea to see how smart they are. Because these questions we are going to ask them, they are going to respond, especially in town hall meetings, they are not scripted questions, they are going to be spontaneous, which means that your ability to respond to questions that you are asked on the spot would make us know how intelligent you are. Because during the course of your leadership, you are going to be faced with issues that will need that your ability to act in spontaneous manners, your ability to act, to show that your reflex is sound, to show that you are sound as far as your sense of reasoning and sense of judgment is concerned. So please, I think Nigerians, this is a discourse Nigerians should not allow to die just with this one that happened over the weekend. We should go on Twitter, we should go on Facebook, we should go on Instagram, we should start pushing it for every presidential debate that is called on. We need the presidential candidate to show up for that debate. If they don't show up, Nigerians should speak up. For every town hall meetings, yes, I mean town hall meetings, as a presidential candidate, you should do well to show up for that meeting. Let us ask questions. Let us even see if you are led, because it is no doubt, everybody knows now that we are in a mess. Every indices of a nation is done. Is it security? Is it education? Everything is done for us as a nation. So we need leaders that will come tell us how they intend to take us from the land of Egypt to the promised land. Because we just need to get to the promised land. If not, the number of persons that we jackpot in the coming year will be more than what we have seen. It will get to a point, the amount of brain drain we are currently experiencing is nothing compared to what we are going to see in 2023 if we don't get it right. If you get to a point where you go to our hospitals, you will not see medical doctors. You will not see nurses to attend to you. Why? Because the qualified ones, they would have all gone to societies where their talent or where their giftings will be better appreciated. This is how much we can go on our show this morning. I'll see you guys on Wednesday, where we're going to have a guest on set to discuss issues that pertains to or that borders on the Nigerian politics and the quest for power. But do well to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even subscribe to our YouTube channel at TSN Nigeria Space TV. And please do not fail to help us share our content across all media. Until I come your way again on Wednesday, it's bye from here.